Cheers. Welcome back to the channel, guys. On today's video, we're going to be talking about the GoodYear Eagle F1 Supersports and my experience with them, and if I would recommend them to you for your M140i, or any car in fact. So when I first got this car, it came with the factory-fitted Michelin Pilot Supersports, and they were a great tyre. Fantastic grip in the dry, like so sticky, very confidence inspiring. However, they were not so good in the wet, especially when they started to wear out. They were horrific, to be honest with you. On the M140i anyway, obviously tyres are going to behave differently on different cars, so, but yeah, we're talking about the M140i. Didn't like those tyres in the winter. In fact, I would just be pulling away from the lights, not even doing anything, and I'd give it the slightest bit of throttle, and the back end would start to wobble and slip, and yeah, I just not confidence inspiring at all, really, to be honest with you. But I did a track day, a Bedford track day with them, and they were fantastic. However, I did wear them out prematurely. The M140i does run quite a straight camber. It doesn't run a lot of negative camber, so this could be a reason to the premature sidewall wear. But also, from what I've gathered from talking to other people that have had these tyres, this is a common issue on the Michelin Pilot Supersports. So yeah, wasn't too happy. I mean, to be fair, I did get them extremely hot. I wasn't really paying attention to the tyre temperatures. But nevertheless, yeah, they weren't wearing well. In fact, it happened twice. The first time was at the Nürburgring. I did have them on the car for I think 8 months before. I went to the Nürburgring and I did 3 laps, really hard laps. Went back to the hotel in the car park. I just thought I'd have a look at the tyres, you know, just to see how they're doing. And to my shock horror, the beads were showing on all 4 tyres, and I was like, oh dear, I'm in Germany, okay, and that's happened. So I was like, oh no, I've got to drive home, you know. I actually had to stay another night. So I did that, went to the tyre shop, and it cost me, luckily they had them in stock, it cost me €750 fitted to get a brand new set of Supersports fitted to the car. That was the last set of Pilot Supersports that I actually had, and they were the ones that were on the car when I did the Bedford track day. And then after the Bedford track day, the same thing happened. The inner and outer edges were worn, and yeah, I was like, you know, I've got to change tyres here. And I had to think about it, and I ended up going for the Michelin Pilot Sport 4s. Now, I don't want to talk too much about them because I want to do a separate video on those tyres. So we'll skip the PS4s. So last year, I popped the GoodYear Eagle F1 Supersports. I waited ages to get hold of them because I think it was the rear size was out of stock everywhere, but managed to find them on Demon Tweaks in the correct size. So I picked them up. Paid, I think, £480 for them, which is an amazing price, really, for such a high quality, high performance tyre. People say that the GoodYear Eagle F1 Supersport is the Michelin 4S rival, and obviously you cannot get the Michelin Pilot 4S in the sizes for the M140i. And if you could, that would have been the tyre I would have gone for, just because the 4s were so good. Normal driving, but we'll speak more about that in another video. But anyway, so yeah, had to settle for the Eagle F1 Supersports, and I put them on, and yeah, they were okay in the wet. They were definitely better than the Supersports, but they weren't as good as the PS4s. And I had a Bedford track day coming up, so I thought this would give me a good opportunity to really put these tyres through their paces. So when I got to Bedford, it was absolutely howling it down with rain, and I was actually quite happy about this because I was thinking in my head, oh, this is going to give me a really good opportunity to test these tyres in the rain, and especially as they're brand new. I got on track, and any long-term followers of the channel would have seen my Bedford in the wet video, and yeah, the tyres were fantastic in the wet. However,
and then nice good hard braking now. Down to gear. Oh, down to gear. That's it.
Oh, what's happened there?
Just a bit of a lock up, yeah.
I am not sure that would have happened with the PS4s, because the PS4s have basically, from all the reviews I've seen, the best braking of any high-performance tyre. I mean, we were pushing hard in the rain. I cannot compare them to what they would have been like to the PS4s in the wet, but yeah, they were absolutely fine. Like, great grip, very confidence-inspiring, super impressive. And then, as the track day progressed, it actually got warmer and the rain stopped and the track dried out. And then I got a chance to really push them in the dry, which I was super happy about, because it meant that I got to test these tyres in extreme wet conditions to extreme warm dry conditions. And I have to say, they were absolutely incredible in the dry, phenomenal. At the end of the track day, the wear, I couldn't believe it. They didn't wear out on the inner and outer sidewalls. In fact, I'm still rocking them now and they're doing absolutely fine. Okay, so here's what the tyres look like as of today. Now, bear in mind, my track day at Bedford was back in August, and I've done quite a few road miles since then. Not only that, I recently did a short stint at Goodwood. And when I say short, I literally mean 15 minutes on track, and that was for a charity day. So, yeah, so Bedford, short stint at Goodwood, various road miles. They are starting to wear a little bit on the outer edge, but far less than they would be on the Michelin Pilot Supersports. So that's great news. Anyone who owns an M140i and is worried or concerned about that wear problem, you're not going to get that with the GoodYear Eagle F1 Supersports. And bear in mind as well that I am running spacers on the car, so that would make it worse. So the tyres are doing great in that respect. Another thing I wanted to mention is the feel of the tyres. Obviously, it's quite tricky to truly determine the feel of a tyre through an electronic steering rack, but all I can say is they feel good, I think. They're riding the bumps a little harder than previous tyres that I ran on the M140i, and I think that's probably just because they've got a harder compound. Since I've done that track day, the wet weather performance has deteriorated massively, and I'm starting to get a bit frustrated with these tyres. They are, look, basically pulling out of a junction at normal speeds, they are starting to behave a little bit like the Supersports. The back end is very unpredictable, slight bit of throttle, and the back end kicks out. Now, I know I'm running the locking diff on this car, but I had the PS4s on this car with the locking diff as well, and they didn't do that. So yeah, on my sort of daily commute and the way I drive, they're not feeling that confidence inspiring through the bends, powering out the bends. Then again, they are a little bit worn from the track day, so yeah. So to conclude, I do think that the GoodYear Eagle F1 Supersports are a fantastic tyre for the M140i. They perform in the wet, they perform really well in the dry, they are extremely good in dry conditions on the track and wet. Obviously, we've spoken about them sort of tapering off a little bit of their wet performance after they've worn a bit, but it's not as bad as the Supersports. But yeah, I can highly recommend these tyres to you guys, and for the price as well, £480. I don't know what the price would be now, but roughly around that area for 4 tyres for a performance car is top notch, guys. So yeah, that's just my thoughts on the GoodYear Eagle F1 Supersports. A great all year round performance tyre. So thank you very much for joining me on today's video. Give us a like and a comment, and please subscribe to the channel. Thanks guys, see you soon.